Alright everyone, hello, this is Toxic here, and we are gonna be playing RAIDOU Remastered. This is the remaster of the first game that came out in 2006. This is technically the most recent SMT/Persona game, if you don't count the recent release of Persona 3 Reload on Switch. And let's just get into it. I'll be playing on Gumshoe difficulty, which is the fastest reasonable difficulty, and I will give you the countdown. Yes, and 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you for the good luck. Yeah, compared to the first game, Speedrun, this is a relatively easy one, although there are still some things that can go horribly wrong, but we'll see. Nice. So, I assume a lot of you have not played Devil Summoner games, or haven't even heard of them really. This is a sub-series within Shin Megami Tensei that is focusing on different summoners who are basically protectors of certain, well, countries, places, locations. And in this case, we are playing as someone who is willing to become one, and is currently just a candidate, and we're going through the series of trials to prove our worth to the clan who will be making us the new defender of the capital city of Japan. The game itself is taking place in 1931, so in the SMT timeline this would be quite in the past. And you will also see me dashing a lot backwards. It's not because it's fun, which it maybe slightly is, but in reality you skip the fight ending animations that way much faster if you just keep spamming circle over and over. We also have a gun, which in this game is used to stun enemies, essentially. Because some of the enemies are very prone to flying around. And it's really hard to catch them like this. So you want to shoot them with the gun first. However, you do run out of ammo relatively quickly if you just keep spamming it. And you have to wait until it replenishes automatically. We are upgrading strength until we hit 33. At that point we're switching to magic. There is no peculiarity to number 33 there, actually. It just happens that the rest of the weapons that we are going to be getting, buying and using will put us all the way to the 40 anyway. So we don't need to max ourselves out to 40, because we will basically get 33 plus 7 by using buffs from different things, like incenses and weapons themselves. Apart from the hacking and slashing with the sword and shooting with the gun that you could already see, we also are able to cast magic. Currently we only have fire, which was useful in the previous fight. Here we're getting the tutorial for demon, well, I say recruitment. It isn't really a recruitment, we're just forcing them in our tube. Without asking them, really, but that's just how it is. Although they're not being physically put into the tube itself, RAIDOU is storing the, well, let's just call it a DNA information in the tube. And by combining it with the Devil Summoner arts that he's very good at, he's summoning that specific demon that he has in the tube. You can see that the gameplay is actually quite lively. You can also jump, which I think I haven't really demonstrated. You have a light combo, heavy combo, you can combine them together. There are certain things that you can, well, I say abuse, not really abuse, but use to make the speedrun quicker. Because after certain combos, you are stuck in the recovery animation until, well, you basically put your sword up back from the floor. But if you are at that point decide to do, for instance, a light attack, it will automatically cancel that recovery animation, so you can start moving quicker again, which is very nice for the speedrun. Yeah, that was a little tutorial for the detective skills that we're going to be using in this game. Because we are going to be playing as a detective in the detective agency. We currently aren't one, but in a minute we will be, once we're done with that. And we will be using demons and their prowess to be able to do certain things that aren't normally possible for humans. And this is the boss of the tutorial, essentially. However, this is not the end, because we have been joined by the second demon now. This is also a tiny tutorial for hiding your demons. Now, she's not being nice. Just keeps spamming the most annoying spell. So I have to keep dodging it, because 2 of those might actually kill me even on that difficulty. So you can see the 2 bars at the bottom of the screen. First one is obviously my health, which you can see me losing quite frequently, but that's mostly because I'm playing on relatively easy difficulty, so I'm trying to go all out and aggressive on everything. But the bar at the very bottom is Magnetite, which is basically your MP that you're using to allow your demons to cast certain spells. Every time they heal you, every time they attack someone, it's using your Magnetite, so you want to keep replenishing it. And there is a way to do it without items, or without resting somewhere, is by using light attacks on enemies. Light attacks basically slowly but surely replenish that bar. So if you're doing a heavy combo and you see that your demons are out of Magnetite to use, you just switch to light attacks, do them for some time, get some Magnetite up, and then switch back to heavy, because heavy is how you are dealing a lot of damage in this game. Otherwise, yeah, it takes forever to get through these fights, even on lower difficulties, because everyone is a HP sponge, especially in the end game. So we have been assigned to the detective agency, to this man Narumi, who is our boss now, and we're his apprentice. And we received the first case together of this girl Kaya, who is asking us to kill her, which is a bit unconventional for detective agency. And once we've met here, we have been attacked by these guards, and you can't win this fight. You just need to quickly die, which is, they're not very good at killing me, let's be honest. Yeah, to speed this up, you need to hide both of your demons and deactivate their abilities, because if you don't deactivate them, they might actually start healing you, even if they are hidden right now. So we're quickly getting to the 1 HP, they say that they won, and leave, taking the girl from us. And now we're very confused because we have no idea what the hell happened there. And this is our first case that we'll be going through the entire game, essentially. Slowly but surely we will be figuring out who she was, why she asked what she did, and where she's gone now. Yeah, this is detective agency that we're going to be visiting a lot. It's also a place where you can heal where you can take side cases, which you will not see in this run. They're basically your side quests. And they give, well, some of them give really good rewards, some of them just sort of filler. But they are pretty good for casual playthrough to go through. There are good bonuses right at the very end there. And this is the detective, Kazuma, who is also trying to solve a case. And this is the demonstration of how we're going to be using the demon abilities in our detective work. We're igniting his soul, so he's basically getting to the conclusion of his thoughts quicker, and we could learn some information from him. And he gave us a tip of what the brooch that we picked up from the girl on that bridge could belong to. It's belonging to the Daidoji family who is living in this residence, so we're immediately going to them and ask them whether they know anything about the Kaya girl that we met. And this is her uncle, who is obviously saying, oh no, she's been gone missing so long ago, but I have no idea where she is. We don't really believe it and decide to snoop around a bit, but Butler doesn't allow us in. However, we are trained experts. We're using solo investigation of our demon and go inside there using the demon. It's one of the very few SMT games that allow you to control your demons, even for a brief period. And yeah, you're wondering if anyone is perplexed by, you know, having demon near them, but only we can see that demon. People around us cannot do that. Because in the current state of the world in the game, we are still only one who can see them. People can't. But the breach is becoming bigger and bigger between the world of humans and demons, and eventually it will fall apart to the point where everyone might start seeing them. But currently we are in the privilege. We talked to the classmates of Kaya, asking where she could be. One of them was about to say something about Kaya and where she has disappeared, but was immediately taken away from us. And she has been transferred to some place called Dark Realm. We will be seeing a lot of those, but before we go there, we need to talk to this statue because it's very nice and kind. It's giving us a lot of useful items without which the speedrun will become a bit of a pain. It's basically a tutorial statue, this fox. It's very handy. We're calling our boss, the herald of the clan who we are belonging to and who has assigned us to the protection of the capital. And she's transferring us to the Dark Realm, where the classmate of Kaya has been transferred to, and now we're trying to figure out what this place is, because for us it's a novelty, really. This is the first time we're here. We can see that she has been taken by someone, in fact, yes. And now with two demons we are starting to go through the fight. In some cases, we will be switching demons before the fight ends, just so a specific demon will get experience over the other. We're gonna summon Preta over Ukobach right here. So if you haven't seen the original game and the gameplay of it, it's quite different. In the original game, just like in RAIDOU 2, well, it's not really exactly correct. Let's just call about the original one. You could not rotate the camera whatsoever. Camera was facing one way. Let's recruit Obarian in here. We'll need some skills that he has. And for the fusions later. You could not rotate the camera around at all. The camera was rotating itself slightly left and right depending on where in the arena you have been. And it's a bit of a pain, to be honest. So I would say that this is an upgrade. This is also an upgrade over the second game, which I think a lot of things in this remaster were inspired by. There are quite a few little additions that are in the second game. And now in this one as well. However, the biggest difference is that you could only have one demon back then. Now you can have two. Which is nice and all, but you aren't able to fully control what the demons are casting. It's something very confusing to me. Why they haven't added that feature, because it is in the RAIDOU 2, for instance. Like in that game, you could select a skill that you wanted to use and put the skill cast to auto, and Demon would be using that skill and that skill only, and that's unbelievably useful and handy. In this game, though, they are doing whatever they want, both of those demons. You can tell them to cast a spell, just one. They will cast it. They will listen to you. But after they've done that, they will switch to their own logic. They're not interested in what you have to say. Which can lead to a very unnice consequences in certain fights. It's not the end of the world, but it's just something obvious that you wish this game would have, which would immediately make some of the fighting more bearable. Something else I could criticize is that the lock-on sometimes living its own life, but to be honest, you eventually get used to it. You're kind of expecting where it will go once you get a bit more experience. I know that some people don't like the idea of having to spam attacks to recover Magnetite, which I can totally understand because it's essentially a button masher contest. However, with one of the recent updates, the game now has a button that allows you to spam the attack. I guess it's perfect for people who don't like mashing buttons too much. So if you're not into that, you'll find that unbelievably useful. Super slow, man, to tell him to cast a spell, which really sucks. It is very slow, yeah. I agree. And the fact that game is very FPS dependent, as Unity games tend to be. Hold up, we need to recruit 2 of these. Gathians, we're going to be using them for quite a while. Nope, not going anywhere. Yeah, because if you don't limit FPS, it's getting really ugly when it comes to making runs comparable to each other. Because the game... It's not a big discrepancy, but it is a discrepancy nonetheless that I decided should be warranting the FPS limiting. So in this game, you can have 2 of the same demons equipped, which is great. Now we're gonna have 2 Agathians here for this thing called Nethergate, which is basically a gate that is blocking us from proceeding somewhere, and it needs to be hit with only one specific element, in this case electricity. So we're using our newly recruited fresh Agathians to just win it for us. That was the whole fight. Most of those nether gates will be unbelievably quickly, because we are preparing to them beforehand. Especially the ones with the gun damage, but we're gonna get there eventually. This is still technically still a tutorial. And the game is now teaching us how to counter in this game. Yeah, I need to be careful. Being hit once this early is not good. You can move around and cover yourself behind Agathians, which is a smart thing to do. But again, I'm willing to take a lot of risk since I'm playing on Gumshoe. And just keep pushing the attacks. You can do those counters. You will see me skipping them a lot of the time. I personally think they don't worth the effort, because they play out the animation, which takes quite a bit of time, and most of the time it doesn't deal enough damage to justify using it. Especially if you are in the middle of, for example, some sort of heavy combo ender. Like, your heavy combo is about to end and deal insane amount of damage. And then if you decide to do that counter attack, it will be nowhere near as good as the damage from that combo ender, which in some cases will be winning us fights. Like, heavy combo is really one step above everything, especially when we get the right weapon for it, the axe. It will be absolutely mad. The problem with axes is that you need money for them, and most of the time, as I have witnessed in my runs and others, you don't really have money when you need them. You can go and pick them up in the mid-game, but it takes an additional minute, and it's basically just a question of whether you want to risk a 2-hour run and skip it for some time save or not. Okay, where is she? We saved her. We're back to normal realm. Answers that you give in the dialogues in this game actually do matter most of the time. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in some of the dialogues for a while. So, she has told us some information about Kaya, how Kaya was behaving really weirdly recently, and that she was singing some sort of a song, and by some interesting conclusions we have thought of coming over here, because her classmate told us that she has a basement in the mansion, and the things that were mentioned in that song were basically singing as if it was some sort of a basement. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go here then. And we have. There is apparently something very suspicious here. Another thing that we have learned is that the reason why she was asking us to kill her is because in her family there is a curse that when the girls are turning 16 years old, they're getting possessed by a demon, and after that they basically die from the influence of that demon. Which is quite wild, you might think, for a story point. But you haven't seen the rest of this game yet. This is really, really hard to keep track of sometimes when you're trying to explain this to someone, because compared to second game, again, second game is very, well, I would even say personal story, and it's very well laid out with a certain idea in mind, and it's very carefully written, it's very thorough. In this game, when it comes to story, it feels like they had 10 ideas, and they really wanted to put all of them in the game. And instead of putting them in 10 different games, they've put it all in one. They very neatly tied them together, to be fair. Okay, let me use the sake for Agathian. This one, yes. So we can learn the passive Elec boost. We're gonna need it later to pass it. And then we're gonna throw in a bonus Ukobach that we have received. Get out. There we go. Yes, this way. We're gonna perform our first fusion. I'm almost tempted to save, but I think I will risk it for now. So this is Gomoden, which is a place that is owned and being run by Victor, who is being very kind to us, allowing these demon fusions and later sword fusions, which we're going to be benefiting a lot from. This is our only proper way to receiving demons that will allow us to finish the game quickly. We're not going to be using anyone we have recruited as our endgame demons. Okay, and use Book of Agi. So books are something that was added to this game as well, the remaster. They allow you to learn certain skills. You can see now that Agi's skill there also has now 1 out of 3 bars filled up. That means if you use 2 more books, it will be 3 out of 3. And it will allow you to pass that skill later in the fusion. If you don't have that, if you don't have 3 out of 3, then when you're going to be fusing this demon with someone, you will not be able to pass that skill, but they will be able to use it still for the time that they are with you, essentially. Okay, I want to use the buff, but I don't have the magnetite for it. Buffs are incredibly pricey in this game. And yeah, this is the creature that lives in this basement, in the mansion. Tarask. It's not being nice to us, but to be honest, we're not being nice to it either. But it will help us later on, if we're gonna prove ourselves to it. Nope. One thing I should mention is that you will see me spamming, seemingly, the ice skills into Ice Demon. The one who's draining ice, for instance. But don't be alarmed. When it comes to RAIDOU and using his signs, those magic buttons that I have, they do not deal that type of damage exactly. They're basically dealing some sort of almighty damage. So, almost as if bypassing the check itself for the affinity that you're attacking with. So if you need to quickly deal some damage, it will not be very fruitful, of course, but it will be some damage nonetheless. Now this painful fight. So we have found a diary that tells us that Kaya was being held here by her uncle that we met earlier, because he made a deal with someone, which I will explain in a second. This is a bit weird. No, not you! No. Yeah, that makes it a bit of a pain. You're supposed to stop the special attack of that boss enemy and not do what RAIDOU did. As I said, lock-on is sometimes living its own life. Although usually at the very start, it always points to the same place. But in this case, I don't know why it was looking to the right. I don't think I have changed the direction itself of where it's supposed to look, but... yeah, I was hoping that they will cast a spell which would interrupt the attack of the boss, but... the demon has died. We'll fix that in a minute. Should be enough. But ideally, it might still need a bit of a face punching, yeah. problem is that, yeah, this will be happening. Yeah, the fights are built in a very specific way in a speedrun. So, you don't really have leeway for a mistake if you want to do them fast. This is something they have added to the remaster. These weird attacks that bosses do that make you run around and wait until they're done with them. Yeah, that was slow. But yeah, all because of the thing at the start. The very first special attack that the boss is using, you're supposed to stop it immediately by your two sign casts, the Pyro and the Frost, but it's fine. So, in that diary we have found information that the uncle of Kaya has been in debt for a while. Come on. And he has made a deal with someone, basically to give them Kaya. Where is... Oh yeah, right. I have one demon less than usual. That's very true. There we go, thank you. So we need to confront him on that front, and ask him why he was lying to us. But first, I'm not sure, do I have the Jindan? Yeah, I have. Excellent. I'll just use that instead. There we go. In some cases, you cannot teleport where you want to teleport, like this one. You have to witness a cutscene in a certain place, so you have to run to that cutscene on foot. Which would be fine in the base game, where you can't fast travel. In this game, though, you can, and sometimes when game takes it away from you, it is a bit annoying. There we go. We're not allowed in, but our demon is able to listen. And then tell us the information that there is someone in the room talking to the uncle right now. We don't really know who it is yet, and they have been discussing that matter exactly. So we're gonna go to the agency and report everything we have learned so far to our boss. I will also automatically heal now, which is very good, and now go to the uncle himself to confront him. We'll not see it since I skipped the cutscene, but he has transformed into some sort of weird creature and has booted off the residence very quickly. We barely managed to dodge him. And instead, we have been met by a very suspicious figure who has summoned this boss right onto us. This is the last boss of the first episode. And, as you may have guessed, every boss now has these attacks that they do, that you have to dodge. Technically, you can cancel them in certain conditions. But it all depends on how close they are to have it cancelled. You will see a little shield mark right at the boss's head right now. It's a mechanic that was added into this game. It's something that you should be very aware of when you're doing boss fights, especially, because it's usually on very difficult enemies that there are shields. Basically, you need to break that shield by hitting the weakness of that boss. And once you break the shield, the next time you cast something that should weaken the boss. For example, if they're weak to ice and you cast the ice spell, they will be stunned. And then you're allowed to deal a lot of damage. You might have seen me do that in the tutorial already, but I did it just now again. The Spirit Slash attack, as it's called. It's a very powerful attack, and we're usually saving it for very specific moments in boss fights. And it's best used when the boss is in a weak state, because at that point they're taking way more damage than usual. It allows us to kill some of the bosses in one Spirit Slash. Some of them take only like 50-25% HP damage. And to accumulate the Spirit Slash, well, we'll get to that point. But if you have played SMT 5, you might find the technique very familiar on how to fill it up. There we go. That's the end of episode 1. We are very confused with that case. And we are basically at a dead end, because the uncle of the girl that we need to find has run off. We have no idea where she is, so we're now looking for some way to jump back into the case and search for some clues. Now we get a visit from Tae Asakura, who is a journalist and a frequent member of this detective agency. She doesn't really work here, but she likes to visit Narume more often than not. And she actually has some clues in regards to our case. Because when Kiyoshi, the uncle of Kaya, has run off, he looked like someone in the red cape. You might have also noticed that it's the name of the episode there. And she has a photo of someone like that, who has been recently sighted in another place. And that way we're opening another location on our map. It's Ginza. We're gonna collect a few things first before proceeding with the story. What's more important is that you need to be very careful here with movement, just in general in chapter 1 and 2, because it's very easy to get carried away and take a few wrong steps in some directions. I haven't been paying too much attention because I'm trying to explain what's going on in the game while I'm playing, but I don't know how optimal the movement was so far. I think I will skip that item. It's okay. And just to be sure, I will cut it a bit short. Usually you would pick up the strength incense in the bushes between the tracks. However, you're gonna get very close to the moon cycle where you're not supposed to be. At some point of this chapter, you need to be on full moon to get into a fight with someone. If you are being careless up to that point, like if your movement has been so and so, you might be late, and then you will have to cycle the whole moon cycle for like nearly a minute and a half, which is obviously too slow. And one strength additionally will not do me any good anyway, so I think I will make that choice. And hold up, no, I've already done that. Let me get out. So we have met a woman who has been searching for the info about the car incident in that area, but we have no idea what she's talking about, so she just left. And then we talked to the owner of the restaurant, pretty much about the same things. and she has pointed us over here if we want to talk about a red cape subject with someone else. However, as we have entered here, this is apparently a Yakuza bath, and what else would you do? You just kick her in the face. It's... as you do when you're a teenager, I guess. But yeah, this is essentially a show of strength in front of someone, which we don't see yet, but we will see in a second. And of course we defeat them. One button combat, yes. Majestic. Demons leveled up, we haven't, which is truly unfortunate, but what can you do? And here is someone who has been watching. This is Satake, who is their boss, and he is basically a man with information. We're gonna be visiting him a lot, and he says that there are very suspicious red guards around here recently, and that we should go over here and check it out, because we do know a thing or two about red guards. We have encountered them on the bridge when Kaya was taken away, and well, they have surrounded us, put us in a dark realm, and now we are here, stuck. But we're ready to fight, so we shall. There we go. So, as we will learn now, we're not alone in this dark realm. There is apparently someone stuck behind the cell. This is Denpachi, the man who has disappeared some time ago, but we are not able to get him out of there. So we're gonna leave the dark world and search for a way to get him out. First, some sake drinking, which I should probably explain a bit more in detail. And this, there we go. What it allows us to do is to max out the demon's loyalty, which is currently maxed now, for instance, for that poltergeist. And max loyalty allows us to learn the passive skills, and in general is a very handy... hold up. Yes, we're starting with this one. This is the sword fusion that we're now able to perform, which is very good. We're now gonna have a new sword, which is actually not a sword, it's a spear. But who's gonna ask questions? It's a nice thing. We're gonna equip it immediately. Now we're gonna do some fusions with the aforementioned poltergeist into Koropakur, who I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. And what I'm praying for is for fusion accidents to not happen. They have happened sometimes 2 or 3 times whenever I'm doing runs. The good thing about fusions now with the latest patch... well, one of the latest patches, I should say, because there recently have been a security patch for Unity Engine, but I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one that actually changed a lot of gameplay stuff. We can now skip the demon fusion animations, so they immediately show over here. As you could see, we could not skip the same thing for sword fusion. You might ask me why. They have added it for one thing, but not for the other. I have no idea. It's sometimes very hard with Atlas. Things just sort of happen. Just have to embrace them and hope that eventually they will also get to this thing. Maybe. Hopefully. Unlikely. Mermaid. We're gonna learn 3 skills for now. And we're gonna run out of here to learn the 4th one, using sake again. One of the last ones that we're gonna be using. First of all, I'm getting a new number of loyalty and title that changes which is nice. The higher your title is, the more demon tubes you have. You can carry a lot of demons in this game. I don't remember the exact limit. Is it 16 or 20? It's something ridiculous, something you will never even consider having, but I'm sure there are some people who would really enjoy having like a whole army with them for every occasion in life. Not all fusion accidents are bad though. In my most recent run of this game, when I was fusing Neja here, I got a fusion accident, but it was a positive one. It was the one that was giving all XP until next level -1, which is very handy. But there are also bad fusion accidents where you receive... Also, I should have... Oh, I can do it like this, it's fine. Where you get Legion as a result of fusion accident, which is very unfortunate, and yeah, at that point you're better off loading a save file, which you obviously want to create before fusions. The game autosaves relatively frequently, so if fusion accident happened, you can just try and Alt F4 out of the game and hope that it will work. That autosave didn't happen in some weird instance right after you have fused something, which it shouldn't, but this game is a mystery sometimes, so... There we go. We need to go to the river. So now you will see me attacking demons sometimes on the field and seemingly just running away from them. But I'm doing that to fill up the spirit slash bar, because it fills up every time you attack enemies on the field from sneak. So before they see you. So you just, as soon as they spawn, you attack them, you get about a quarter of spirit slash bar filled up. And you do that, well, 4 times is obviously enough. Sometimes 3 times is enough. And then you just do a few attacks in the boss fight and you will have, well, pretty much full bar. It just depends on how much you have when you're starting with that. Classic Legion luck. I'm pretty sure all Legions are required for all achievements in this game on Steam. And I have seen people writhe in pain, and rightfully so, because, you know, it's obviously random. It's not pretty. So this is a bullet nethergate, so we're gonna shoot it with the bullet, and that's it. It's not like this on other difficulties, it's just like that on a gumshoe, and it's very nice that we don't need any specifics to deal with that. Like some gun skills from weapons that you can fuse later on, which is also probably something I should explain. Every time you fuse weapons in this game, you are getting certain skills that you can equip on yourself. Our very last axe that we're gonna be using has a skill that allows us to deal more damage when we are in a status ailments, which technically doesn't sound very interesting, but there will be bosses where on easy difficulty, for example, you don't really care if you are at least they are able to fight properly here. Well, I'm getting stunned there. Nope. Still waiting for my thing to get from cooldown. Oh, it's too late now. Kind of weird that you don't have to fight any enemies that spawn with them. Yeah, that is true. I don't know. It's handy for speedrun, but it is weird from design perspective. Because they really haven't explained much where the enemies are spawning from. Like, if it was the gate that is spawning them and it is connected to them in some way, then sure, but that was not explained in any capacity, so they kind of just die for no reason. So we have Free Denpachi, who has told us that, well, I may know something about the Red Cape business that you're interested in, but I really need to find my sister, who is the woman that we met when we first got to Ginza, who is actually working in a red light district over here to save up some money. We're not allowed to go too much further in, so we're gonna just talk to her here. There is a thing on the right there, that red portal that you might see in the distance. It's a rift that you can close. It's usually a part of side cases. There are some of them that are not connected to any side cases. It's something that you can close by defeating all the enemies in it. And get some rewards. I wouldn't call them great though, so we don't do them in a run. And over here. Yes. I haven't paid attention if I am close to full moon or not, but we're gonna see my misery in a second. No, I'm actually fine. Surprisingly. So we got the info that something happened recently on the full moon under the bridge. Some car accident, and that immediately ring a bell with us. Because there have been someone earlier who has been asking or something like that. So we're gonna go and check it out. Game is telling us to go to Ginza. We're not gonna go to Ginza, we're gonna go to the restaurant over here. Because this is a point that is closer to the fight that happens only on full moon, this one. Yeah, it's a good thing I have skipped the strength incense pickup, because I might have been a bit late if I went for it. But maybe it would be very close, but still manageable. This is Oboroguruma, and yeah, and I like being stunned. Oh, actually, this is fantastic that it's now in Berserk, because enemies in Berserk get more damage in their face. This will be very close, but not might be enough. Yeah. How is this car moving? What do you mean it's stunned? How is it moving? That's not fair. This is ridiculous. Yeah, whatever. Just remaster things, whatever. I think I'll get strength to 34 then. But yeah, strength is definitely more important in the run. In the most recent route that I have seen in Mitsushima's run, a runner who is running the normal difficulty, essentially, we're not using Makakaja at all. And I have done practice with that route, and you know, I haven't seen any difference whether we had Makakaja or did not have. So cutting it out, I think, is in fact a good call. Okay, so we have found a piece that Denpachi, who is a driver of the rickshaw, would be using after we have defeated that car, which means that maybe he has something to do with that accident that has been happening here recently. And we need to get some more info out of this, because game is preventing us from teleporting around. That means you just need to come back to place where you came from. And immediately, once we came back, we saw that there is a red cape that we were searching for is running around, and that's exactly who we want. So we're gonna go to the Dark Realm now in the same city and search for him. Thing is getting line with some point. Cool to see it. If you haven't played RAIDOU 1, I would suggest this game over the original, because the combat is way more rich than the original. The combat of the original game is quite bland. If you played this only casually, you will unlikely notice any, well, let's call them technical issues and some of the design issues that only will really open up to you if you put the game to the limit, or if you're gonna play it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. So, well, this will not be a sneak attack, so this was a bit too late. But this shows you the difference, that we didn't really get too much Spirit Slash in there. You need to attack someone who has just spawned. Yes. Mm-hmm. Or Jack Frost. So in some cases you need demon detective skills to actually progress through the game. Here, for instance, Red Cape will be running around in circles forever from you until you block the way. To block the way, you need someone with a detective skill, use force. Thankfully we have someone like that. And there we go. Now that path will be completely blocked, which Red Cape obviously doesn't know about yet. And we will be able to catch up. This is a place where you can recover your health. In the remaster it's for free. In the original game it was costing obscene amounts of money and you would never visit it. Is it a good kind of change? I will leave it up to you to decide. But it's certainly handy for a game that is really focusing on hacking, slashing, spamming skills, like everything that takes a lot of resources out of you. There we go. That's fight number 1 against Red Cape. We want to deal as much damage as possible, because we're gonna have a rematch in a second. There we go. That's very unfortunate. That was very close to Spirit Slash, but not enough. It could have filled up in the boss fight itself, but it's hard to predict how it will go. It's a bit wild. There is a very fast way to do it, but it will all depend on what demons are going to be doing. Also... No, I'm good. There we go. Immediately using this, because I know I will need Magnetite in a second. What you really want to try and do is to command Nezha to use Berserker and hope it hits. It didn't hit. No! Nezha got hit by the spell, so yeah, this is not gonna go fast. Nope. Although it will all depend on whether they will cast a spell now to break the shield. Nope. Was out of MP for that. Yeah, this is gonna go the slow way. If Berserker would proc, then the Spirit Slash attack that I would be using would deal so much damage that the boss would die, like, before this phase even begins, but... Yes, obviously. This should be enough now. Unfortunate, but it's one of the outcomes that can happen. Yeah, in case you're wondering how we're getting 2 levels out of the fight, well, it's because we're severely under-leveled throughout the whole run. So every time we defeat someone who is giving at least a tiny, well, not a tiny, a reasonable amount, I should say, of XP, we're immediately getting many levels. So, in fact, Red Cape in this city was Denpachi, and this makes us confused because, well, we thought it was Kiyoshi, the uncle of Kaya, but apparently there are 2 Red Capes then. And we don't really know how to handle that going forward. So for now, again, we're looking for some sort of revelation. One thing Denpachi has told us, though, is the fact that he and Kiyoshi, who are technically both Red Capes in the case of this game, have been acquaintances, and Kiyoshi has been visiting his own factory relatively often. So we're gonna head there now to search for something. Search for some sort of clues. You could see me visiting Amazing Science Lab, which is a place I don't need to go to. However, since we have a fast travel system in this game, we can tag places. Tag, of course, quote-unquote, for the future, and then use them when we need them. So I'm gonna visit Amazing Science Lab in like 5 or 6 chapters from now, probably. But I'm passing by it, so I'm tagging it for the future, and that will speed up some stuff later, since I don't have to travel there again. Well, in the factory, we are being surrounded by matryoshkas and a very mysterious, who's not very mysterious anymore, really, man who is telling us to get through that challenge of going through 6 matryoshka dolls, which are basically teleporting us around the factory. That's all it really does. And then, by going through all of those challenges, we will be able to open the door in the middle where Kiyoshi is, allegedly. We don't really know yet, because, you know, believing a villain. Do we do that? Well, I guess we do. Mazuyo Madzan Maragi. We're getting our Tamlin, who's going to be casting Tarukaja eventually. And that's where our decent damage will be coming from. This is Half Mind and Magic Chakra, yes. One thing you might see appearing on the screen right now is me receiving items. So in this game, what they have added is demons. When you're using them in a fusion, they give you some sort of gift, a parting gift. Some of these items are very handy. Some of them are absolutely useless, and you have to sit through it. In one case, we know what the item will be, and we're gonna go and talk to demons specifically, who we have not fused yet. Those can also give us presents, gifts, and we're gonna get a gift from them and use it on one of our demons. When you see me go in the menu next time, you will see a thing in the options there that says Demon Check-ins, if I recall correctly. That's the option that you can select, and you will be able to talk to all your current demons and get all the gifts that you have aligned to you. So in this factory, there are a lot of workers who are giving up on trying to escape this place. We're trying to tell them that it's okay. It's fine. In the original game, you didn't need to help all of them. You could just collect 3 shards, which are basically 3 keys, and escape this place. However, in this game, you're forced to talk to all of them, so we're gonna have to save them all. Don't worry about those suspicious sounds that are gonna be happening in these fights for the next 10 minutes. Oh, come on, how did you miss that? I'm very charmed. Yes, thank you. Where's my fire? It's still in cooldown. Unbelievable. Yeah, without Spirit Slash, those fights are a drag, even on this difficulty. We are going to be using Spirit Slash on this, eventually, but not yet. Alright. That's the first shard that we found. We need 2 more, and save all workers while we are at it. Next is the bottom left doll, and there are a lot of workers here as well, and there is also another fight with these concerning enemies. Another one. Fire another gate. Hamlin is just spamming Maragi while we are accumulating some magnetite, I suppose. There's not much else for you to do after you have used the pyro sign. There we go. That's the second item we need to pick up. We're getting ambushed immediately. Here, there is an actual decent idea behind it, I would say, is to get rid of the small ones first. Because once they die, you may see that something else is happening. The big ones spawn. So you want to get rid of the small ones. Once all the big ones appear, you just use Spirit Slash and be done with it. You obviously all get one shot. This amount of damage is enough to one-shot half of the bosses in this game. That's the blue shard, 2nd out of 3. Now we just go back. However, I do need to accumulate Spirit Slash again, so I'm gonna be fighting... except not fighting these encounters. Hot. This should be enough. You can skip that 4th one and accumulate the rest of the Spirit Slash in the upcoming fight. I'm just doing it as a precaution, because I have no idea how it will go, and you will immediately see why now, because it's another Red Cape fight, although this one is much easier because he's not throwing cars at us. That helps. Nice. Give me a second, Tarokaja. Oh. Oh, there we go. Now he's casting it. Yeah, the buffs do stack in this game twice. So we're getting first cast automatically from Demon because they always prioritize buffs at the start. Thank you for the good luck. And then we're applying another one manually, of course. Through those slow as hell menus, but what are you gonna do? Alright. From another straight into... yes. Ugh. Not much you can do, but this is the last one that you have to do against them. I'm consistently out of Magnetite and I don't like it. I guess I just need to push myself back to light attacks for the time being because this is getting a bit annoying. There we go. Very nice. That went much better than I was expecting. Now that we have all 3 shards, I will go and heal and head to the boss. The only thing that concerns me right now is that I don't have Spirit Slash ready, but there is not much you can do about it. You can start running around and searching for encounter. That would be still a reasonable thing, but... yeah, in the cutscene that we just skipped, Kiyoshi was transforming into some sort of a creature, but not Red Cape, something else. It's called Hiroko. It's a thing that is manifesting from people's anxiety and anger, and fear, and it basically got out of him and flew away. And now he's laying there wounded while we are fighting Chernobog, who is a boss fight of this chapter. And he has been summoned by Rasputin, the absolute legend of this game. He's a dark summoner. He's basically like us, but playing for the wrong team, you could say. Poison is not fun times, but do I have anything to counter it? I do, in fact. That's... any fire? Thank you. Well, that's actually not the worst thing to happen right now, because I am still accumulating Spirit Slash, and I do need to have a full bar by the time we get to last phase, so... okay, now I do have full. Okay, that's enough. Running out of chakra drops and chips. Which is not good, but again, even if you don't have recovery items, you can always just switch to the light attacks and it will be okay. Now for the actual boss, finally. Alright. I'm forgetting there's a dialogue every time new phase starts. Yes, yes, yes. All very important. That will do. We won. more or less. Yeah, getting poisoned there, it didn't really break anything in terms of strats, but that certainly put me off. It has been a long while since I've seen poison actually working on you. Yeah, I know discarding endure skills in SMT is a bit heartbreaking to see, but they're actually not that useful in the game, especially on this difficulty, because your demons will not die that often. Like, you could see one of them die in the chapter 1 for me, but that was just me being very careless. Usually you wouldn't have any of them die if you don't save the current progress, but proceed to next episode. Yes. That's episode 3. Now we're on to episode 4, and we are once again out of clues, really, on where Rasputin went to, why he's been following us around, although in reality it's actually us catching up to him all the time. But he has finally revealed himself, but while we are not able to do anything about this, we're just gonna go and search for information elsewhere. We have now opened up a new city to visit, Harami, and we're gonna go there to get some more info about the missing shipments of the owner of the convenience store, or antique shop, I guess is a better word for it, who has asked us for help. We're gonna be hearing really weird noises as we're going through this location. It's as if someone from somewhere else is trying to reach us. Actually, hold up. There we go. Wasn't sure if I checked all the options there. One thing you may have noticed me is driving the, well, I call it taxi, but it's sort of a train express, which is actually incredibly useful. And every time you drive it, you spend some amount of money. And the funniest thing is that if you're out of money, but you still go somewhere, which you can, Goto, our cat partner, which I haven't really mentioned yet, will pay for you. But then you will have to pay him back eventually. So you're basically borrowing some money to drive yourself around, which I find to be quite funny. It's a thing that was also in the original game, I believe. It's a nice touch. Okay. We need to help these workers now. Ugh. So, as I've said before, the story of this game is, at the very least, very ambitious, because of how many things at once it's trying to keep track of, and ask you to do the same. Even though we're technically searching for Kaya, Rasputin, and missing shipments as a part of this chapter, there is also a case right now of finding a person who has been working for a company in Harami, who has been involved in some suspicious business lately with smuggling immigrants, and we believe that something may have happened to him. And it's actually the voice that we're going to be hearing throughout the chapter. And, yeah, that's basically what we're going through here. We're trying to, well, first of all, save those workers that were supposed to deliver all the shipments that went missing, but also find that man who's also gone somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna be grabbing as many of spirit slash opportunities as I can. Soon we're gonna have to use it. Okay, that was one of the other abilities that our demons have. It's cooling down water, for instance. There we go. Got full spirit slash now. We kill this middle one, then 2 more should spawn. There we go. And now we use spirit slash to kill 4 of them at once. But that's not all. Yes. They keep flying around. Gun isn't exactly helpful with them, but one thing I have noticed is that when you're shooting a gun, they tend to stop more frequently. Not because of bullets reaching them, but they're just sort of looking at you and casting the spell in your way. Might be a placebo, but it's the one that works, more or less. Okay, give me this one. Alright. That was the second person we needed to free, and now 1 more. Oh no, not these enemies, oh no. It actually hurts to hit them. There we go. Usually it's the same starter, really. Even for a basic gun skill, the exercising shell, it's still pretty powerful against normal enemies, so I do tend to use it every once in a while. Especially when they're weak, because it takes almost half of their HP. Yeah, I wish the lock-on would actually switch left, but alas. There's only so much I can do. Right. Couple of important things before we proceed further. Well, first of all... Okay, I do have the full spirit slash. Good. It's nice. Now we'll go to the pier. Money, money, as I said before, is extremely important in this game, and you're always short. So, a little bit extra will never hurt. Before we get into next fight, though, I need to use 2 thin grimoires on RAIDOU to get just enough levels for later. There we go. Now we can go into the next fight, which I will solve really quickly. Hopefully. Unless I don't have enough magnetite, but I think that shouldn't be the issue anyway. Well, I don't have enough magnetite. Okay, but I do have Tarot Card applied already, so I just need Warcry. And now we use this, and this should be over. This is an incredibly annoying fight in the original game. It's the one that can send your run back to the main menu. because those 3-glove enemies have that dash attack forward. It deals insane amount of damage, especially when you're so underleveled. Before we move on, I need to confine one ghoul. For later use. And it's the first instance where we confine something and then escape. Stop wasting my... whatever. And another thing I want is to raise my spirit up a bit, because the boss fight is imminent and I have almost no spirit slash ready. Magnetite might look like a bit of an issue, but thankfully there is a place right here where we're gonna be able to heal. There we go. And get out of the dark realm. So, we have an idea of how to reach a Catholic church. Right near the Catholic church there should be a cemetery, which we want to visit. But we can't just go to that church. It's actually something that you need to get to by the water, which is a bit tricky. However, we might know someone who might be able to swim. So we're gonna go and talk to this big Tarask. Give it 100 yen, 300... 500, not give 1000, scold it, so it doesn't shout about. It calms down and gives us a flute. We're gonna use that flute to call the Tarask and be able to swim. But before we do exactly that, we're gonna visit the shop and sell everything we have, which... oh my god, that's not a lot of stuff, is it? Yeah, that's not a lot of money, but hopefully it will be enough. I think 1. I don't have that many heals, surprisingly. That all? Yeah, that's all useful items I had. And we're gonna buy some stuff. Fury Bronze up to 3. Fury Steel up to 2. I already have 4. Excellent, so that's some money back to me. A Vault Bronze up to 1. And Vault Steel I need 3. Should have started with Vault Steel. Might have been with a chance to not see that extra menu of the shop owner telling you that I'm such a nice customer, here's some new items, and then close down the shop menu and you have to enter it again. Okay, now a bunch of weapons that we want to create. And one of them will finally have some sort of a skill on it. Yeah, you have to manually equip this weapon because this is your first axe. Every time you equip something for the first time, you have to do it manually. And then the game will just automatically replace one axe with axe. Like in this case. But first we have to equip Tiger Stance. Which in itself isn't very useful, as we're not guarding too often, really. But the stuff that is gonna be happening afterwards, later down the axe crafting line, that will be much worth it. Although, I have completed a run where we didn't craft the most powerful axe that we usually would go for, and it was just fine. It was probably slower, if I'm being honest, but it wasn't the end of the world. It's certainly something you can finish the game with. Preta and Mermaid. And we're gonna fuse Aquans. Nice. And fuse Len and She. out of Aquans and Tamlin. Majestic. Wait, I don't need Maragi on her, so it's gonna be like this. Yes. Lenanchi is a frequent of Devil Summoner speedruns. You're gonna see her almost in every Devil Summoner speedrun if you start following those. Elec Boost, Fire Resist, Magic Chakra, Endure for once, Fast Escape, and Scavenger. Scavenger allows demons to find items on the floor, basically, when going around you. Which is very handy in a speedrun where we are always short on money. Before I move on, I need to set demons so I don't walk around empty-handed. I'm gonna teleport to Harumi and collect some more items. As I said, we need money. Like we're not really going out of our way here because this is where we have to go. But collecting an item itself is certainly something you have to do. Because you go over here, use the detective skill to search the area, and there it is, right near the rift. Not the best item, but when you're so short on money, there's not much you can do. First, we're gonna swim over here on our Tarask. This is the phone booth that we will be using later. We don't need it now, but it's one of the cases where we're gonna tag teleport point for later use. And after that, we go where we are actually supposed to go. The Catholic Church, there is a lifestone that I usually don't pick up, but I'm very short on heals after a questionable chapter 1. Tag the church itself for teleport, because it's gonna be faster than running back to it in a minute. And now we're gonna talk to this ghost, which is apparently a ghost of a person who we were searching for throughout this chapter. Apparently he has been killed, and killed by no one other than Sir Rasputin, which we may or may not see in a minute. Not after I pick this up. I need items. Balm of Life is not something you will use, likely. It's something you will sell. It sells for a good amount of money. Also, I should have teleported to Catholic Church, but I forgot to do it because it's a most recent addition to the route. It's okay. It's probably faster by like a couple of seconds. Not the end of the world. So we can hear people talking in here, but there's actually no one inside in that booth. Rasputin tells us that it's not very nice to eavesdrop, you know. And we're gonna have a showdown with him finally. And he's arriving in style, that's for sure. Or attacking in style, I guess. I need 2 Tarokajas before I actually get to do things. Okay, that's one. I need immediately second one. You break Matryoshkas really easily with a jump attack like this. With Rasputin himself already, I have a couple of MP or Magnetite regenerating items which I should use. I also have an ability called Magnetize now, which is an ability that allows me to recover some of the MP really quickly. Okay, just in time. How's your shield, mate? Guys, you're not doing a good job, you know. Come on, one more. There we go. That should do it. Or we'll be very close, at least. There we go. As you can see, he's a little bit electrified, which is weird. But it actually isn't weird, because as we will learn, he's an android, the machine. He's not the actual Rasputin that you would hear from in the history books. Looks like him, but isn't exactly him. That diorama that Lenonchi has learned is a blessing. While we were talking to Rasputin, he mentioned a thing called Super Soldier Project, which we don't really know about yet. At least not that much. But it's something we will have to keep in mind going into the next chapters. It's something that Rasputin is helping someone with. Sounds like something dangerous, potentially. But anyway, we have to go to a place called Kasumidai, over here. From Tae, we have learned some info that there is a traitor among the army who is willing to disclose a lot of information about certain projects. And we're thinking maybe he knows something about Super Soldier Project as well, so we're trying to meet him here, in this place. For now, there's no one here. There's a lot of guards, and they're blocking our path everywhere. So we need to come up with an idea of how to move them out of our way. We just leave him during the session because that won't cause problems. Yeah, well, we thought we actually killed him. But have we? Oh, have we? Summon Agathian, because we're gonna be checking out a lot of spaces here. I might actually do a little bit of a safety thing here, which I normally would skip in runs now, but additional 5,000 or so will not hurt. I'm really short on money. Oh, this one is visible already, right. Vitality Incense, and now we're gonna have 3 spots that we can check by sneaking inside. It's also a detective ability that some of the demons have, and it's also faster to do this. Return to RAIDOU, and then you immediately back to RAIDOU and controlling him. If you would go manually back, it would actually be much slower, because then you will get an animation where Demon is saying, "Look how cool I am!" And then you will get a control back to RAIDOU, which is incredibly slow, as you can imagine. And yeah, we don't do that, we just teleport back to him. Although it's not always possible, especially in dungeons where you are in danger or separated from RAIDOU. Before we proceed with the fact that Tae has been kidnapped and transported into Dark Realm while we have left her for a few minutes, we're gonna visit Konoya, which is this shop where I have been a few times, and sell everything we have, because we need some money again. And that's all I have, isn't it? Well, nearly. I have 2 Jindans, that's enough for me to keep my demons happy. What I'm gonna do is to buy 2 of these. One of this. 2 of those. That should be enough. And then Fury Bronze up to 2. I have none. Can't tell if I'm being unlucky or what. I have to buy way more stuff than I usually need, but This is excruciating. Okay, now we go to Gomaden, where we're gonna fuse a new sword for ourselves. By sword, I of course mean axe. Equip this skill. And now we are going into a very interesting place. Well, interesting if you like 100%ing the game, I suppose. It's a place that you would normally just skip in your playthrough. Well, in a speedrun, I should say. You shouldn't skip it in the playthrough, because there are actually quite a few interesting items and things to do here. It's a training hall for summoners. We're gonna go on a very specific floor to grab a very specific item. Here in the corner, surrounded by millions of enemies. It's a thick grimoire, which will give us enough XP for the rest of the level for RAIDOU. It's basically +1 level, in other words. And we're gonna need it desperately later. Yes, over here. And before I proceed into next fight, I need to equip a few skills. I think I should have the time for it before we do it. Yeah, good, because I need Pyrosign, as we're going to be fighting zombies and they're always weak to fire. And this is Sadakichi. This is allegedly the person who was supposed to disclose a lot of information to us, who is apparently being surrounded by zombies. Oh no! Well, we're gonna help him. Yeah, you have to get accustomed to the axe. It's a very slow and heavy weapon to use, but the damage is absolutely insane. It's certainly something worth struggle for. So we need to look for the files that went missing. Once we collect all of them, we're gonna give them to Sadakichi, who is gonna tell us what we need to do next. This is a bit of a drag. You need to collect a whole 8 pages of those around this area, but it's all relatively easy. Just takes a bit too long. Then do this. You need a full Spirit Slash by the time you reach one of the last pages. Like that. I was thinking of a different place again. Now one of the few instances where we can use the fly mode. Thankfully we'll have one demon to fly over this barricade. Collect another page for us and collect a bit of life. Which is good money. Ah, this will be very close, but not enough. That's unfortunate. I'll need one more. Wait, I thought I picked it up. Wait, what? Excuse me, what did I pick up then? Or did I accidentally talk to Demon instead? It's something you can't really teleport until later. Until it happened, I guess. So I need to talk about specific page. Well, you can talk about all of them, but we know that we need specific info for page number 8. And Zombie can't really remember that info, so we're gonna ignite the soul to make him remember. Which is nice and all. But it's not nice for Jack O'Lantern, who is now gonna be gone. From our team, we're gonna summon Agathian again. This is a bit risky, I would say, because I'm gonna need to fill up the Spirit Slash again on my way back, and I'm not sure I will have enough encounters. Like, they do respawn eventually, but sometimes it's not fast enough. And the fight that is coming up at the conclusion of this area, I should say, it's incredibly annoying. It's one of the most annoying fights in the game. Okay. No, don't touch that one. Inspect on this. It's a page that is very high up the tree. Obviously, we can't reach it ourselves, but we know that someone else can. And we're gonna ask them to do it later for us. It's another page. Now we need page number 8 that we got the information for. There's a lot of zombies here. We're just using Spirit Slash to quickly get rid of them. Gazillion of damage, obviously, and fight is over. We got the page. Only one should be left, unless I missed something. We need to use force to punch it off the top of the tree. Like that. Smack. And now I can pick it up. And there we go. But I'm still not done with Spirit Slash acquiring. It's always so funny when your demon just jumps out of the screen somewhere to ambush the enemy. It looks so silly. Nice. Oh, good. I do have enough of encounters, I think. It's nice. I wasn't expecting this to respawn in time. Well, before we go anywhere, though, I need this. And I still need one more encounter, which should be here. Yes. This fight. Oh my god. This is Nebiros, and the problem with Nebiros is that whenever he's summoning reinforcements or moving, he's not taking any damage. Like, for some reason, it just doesn't hit him. It's a bit problematic because he likes to do both of the things. Okay. That's a good start. I actually managed to hit him a bit. But I do need Neja's Madzan still. Good. This will be very close, or enough. Nice. It's probably as well as this fight could go for me. Excellent. Usually I have to run around in circles while he's running around, so that's... Okay, 34. Now we're just upgrading magic till the end. As I said, usually you would get for 33 in strength, but since I skipped on one of the incenses, I'll take this path instead. Good. Now, we're gonna use some stuff. Book of Agi, we're gonna use on Len and Shi over the Arakukaja, because we don't want defense buffs. Okay, wait. I have the Book of Bufu already, that's even better. This is one of the things that I was talking about, that you might not have it, so you have to talk to your demons to acquire it. Through this option, Demon Check-in. Okay, now we're teleporting to Dark Asumidai, because we need a recruit from here, actually. I'm not a big fan of this tree. I always like to mention it, for no apparent reason, but there is a reason. In Soul Hackers, this is a very annoying enemy in one of the other Devil Summoner games, and it just punches you right in the dirt, right at the beginning of the game in one of the very first dungeons. This is an absolute nightmare of an enemy for me. Alright, and now we're leaving this place. And we're going to the Canon battery telephone tone booth that you might have seen me tagging at some point. This is where the Sadakichi, that guy that we met, told us to go, because this is where he saw very suspicious things happening lately. And we're gonna go here. Subterranean shipyard. With not very good guards. Yeah, in case you're wondering if you should take this game too serious, you shouldn't. It likes to have fun as well. Yeah, now we're gonna fight a lot of those gates. And I mean a lot. Most of them will be defeated in the same fashion. We're gonna use Zeal, which is a skill that we have acquired with one of the weapons. It's something that allows you to deal more damage, and also it removes status elements from you, essentially. So you can run around in certain boss fights without a worry in the world. And there will be boss fights with status elements. And the damage boost is just a nice, you know, bonus while you have it. So most of the time, your strategy for the fight is to have Zeal, Warcry, and 2 Tarokajas applied. If you have these things, then you're probably dealing as much damage as you could. Your cream puff made of cream. Oh my god. Vault sign. Yes, I need to remember these very carefully, because otherwise doing these nether gates, it's just painful. They actually take quite a bit of work. They're very easy if you're prepared for them. If you're not, I assume you actually have to leave the place and get like skill ready. If you don't have one. I have one. I can equip a RAIDOU sign right in the fight, but that also takes like 15 extra seconds or so. Because if you equip a sign inside the battle, it's not automatically getting equipped. It will take some time for it to cool down before you can use it the first time. So, one of the gates that we have destroyed is regenerating. This Ipondattara is able to smash that gate, but first we need to negotiate a bit. Give him some money and tell him that he's stupid, and that obviously works. Now it's okay. Now the gate will disappear. No, not that. RAIDOU, I'm begging you, stop jumping. Yeah, every time you press different signs on the bottom right corner menu that you have, it's highly advised for you to repress the button that activates that window. In my case, it's R2. Because sometimes the game is not capable of reading the R2, and it just thinks, oh, you want R2 and X, so you mean you need X. So you mean you want to jump, and you just start jumping around, and you didn't want that, though. Yeah, one annoying thing that I don't know why they have changed it from other 2 games is that you can't use certain skills after the fight is over. Like, the enemies have reached 0 HP. Like, you can't summon... Hold up, give me a second. This is actually somewhat important. Thing Grimoire on RAIDOU. That's for level up. Yeah, in other 2 games, you're able to summon a demon for XP, even though the fight is over. So, like, you, like, quickly put that demon in before the level up. Here, you can't do that. And same for skills. If everything has reached 0 HP, like all the enemies, you can't just go and use a skill to replenish your magnetite, the magnetize skill, for example. That is really weird, but maybe to balance the overall easiness of the game? I don't know. Probably we'll never know. Earth is... Yes, Neko Shogun, and... Yes, with Warcry and... Maragi. Still no fusion accidents. I don't know if I should be offended by it. Or not. I like boost, heal boost, resist force, magic chakra sync, or swim fast escape. Very scuffed menus, but it's okay. And normal fusion. Koninushi with Warcry and Maragi. Yeah, you will immediately know if you got a fusion accident because the screen will turn red. Elic boost, heal boost, resist force, magic chakra, fast escape scavenger. Use thick grimoire. I will in a second. And I'm gonna use it on Okuninushi to learn Bufudyne, which might come useful in next fight, but honestly, it might not. It all depends on how it goes. Sometimes it might go really, really wild, to put it lightly. And last thing, well, I would like to have a demon equipped. Yes. Oh, look. Very suspicious people and Kaya. So she has been taken by General Munakata over here, who has been trying to execute this project of his called Super Soldier, which is very ambitious. Or at least he thinks it is. And he needs Kaya for it. Where is the second brother? What happened? Okay. Yeah, these are two bros that you have to defeat. Okay, that's not the worst pattern. It's fine. Although you can skip completely this special attack, but since they're gonna do it anyway, might as well showcase it. While I'm at it, I need to recover some of my magnetite, or this is gonna get ugly at the start. So you need to dodge it. And it immediately stops it, which is quite useful, I have to say. This is definitely cutting it close, but it should be enough to get rid of one brother, I believe. Okay, yeah. You're very much advised to equip the Pyre sign now. In case you haven't noticed, one of the brothers is weak to fire and the other is weak to ice. So it would be much faster if you would equip Pyre sign, but you know, on this difficulty, by the time Pyre sign will be available to you, the fight will be over. Yeah, your man has went out of bound, but what can you do? Ideally, of course, you want to damage them equally, so when you're using Spirit Slash, one of them will die immediately and the second one will be very, very, very close to death. But ultimately it doesn't matter, because in both cases you still have to, you know, damage the second brother anyway. And on this difficulty, equipping Sign in the middle of the fight, as I said, is a bit of a drag. It is not worth it in my opinion. Anyway, we have rescued Kaya out of the hands of the general. who, as we now think, will not be able to execute his plan of creating an army of super soldiers who are basically those red guards that you have seen already, those living dead in the armor. And now all is well, technically, right? We saved the girl. I mean, Rasputin is walking around somewhere, but it's a different issue entirely. Oh, finally it happened. I'm so glad it did, because now I can talk about it and I have 40 seconds to drink my tea. Don't be alarmed. This is a thing that exists in this game. It lasts exactly 40 seconds, and then the game will be alive again. It can happen at any place in the game. It can happen on the very first loading after you launch the exe file, or it can happen in the final fight on your final hit. So it's just something you have to live with. And eventually it goes away. I haven't seen anyone having that issue, apart from me, but we don't have that many runners of the game, frankly, so sample size is definitely not too big. I don't think Atlas is even aware that this is an issue, and I don't think they would consider that an issue anyway, so... Well, Kaya has cut her hair short to freshen up her look a bit. Also, I should do something right now. We're gonna go to Konoe again. Atlas programming, yeah. I'm blaming Unity Engine. I had very similar experiences with Soul Hackers 2. It's just a bit of a whack. I like it way more than the Unreal Engine overall. I feel like you can create way more creative looks on Unity Engine rather than Unreal, where it feels like most of the games look relatively similarly-ish on it. But Unity Engine it feels like it's not fully optimized sometimes. Madzia Madzan, yes. Bufadine, Warcry, and Maragi. And passives. I like Boost, Magic Chakra, Sink or Swim, Endure Fast, Escape, and Scavenger. There we go. And Len and Shi that we are summoning. Even if the route wouldn't summon her, I would summon her personally, because I can't imagine a Devil Summoner without her. So, when we were talking to Kaya, she's talking very... well, cryptic, I should say. She doesn't sound like a 16, well, nearly 16-year-old girl. And we're a bit confused on what she's even on about, but she wants to find some sort of artifact around these places. And she's talking like she has seen way more in her life already than she's letting on to believe. And, well, we're just following her along right now and searching for whatever she wants. Oh, the tiger doesn't know or drain fire. That's a good point, yeah. Oh, something I can mention as well, that in this game you have two types of weaknesses. It's something that exists in another game which I can't really remember from the top of my head right now. There is weak and there is frail. What you want is frail in this game, because if you hit the frailty of an enemy, it will reduce their shield and it will stun them. If you're hitting their weakness, it will be dealing additional damage compared to other affinities, of course, but it will not stun them. So whenever you're building up a team or selecting skills that you want to use, you need to look at the frailties of your enemies, not the weaknesses. They have different symbols. The frailty has exclamation mark, and the weakness has broken shield symbol. So finally stumbled upon some sort of artifact, and Kai is asking us a very difficult question about fate and how RAIDOU is following the fate in his life. And then she just teleports out. So either it wasn't her, or something has happened to her while she was away. Anyway, she's gone now, so we're back to square one. And we have a visit from Sadakichi, who apparently is not someone who's trying to betray the army. He is a member of Navy, and even though they knew about Munakata and whatever he's trying to do with that super soldier project, they also have been watched, the Navy, and one of the people in the Navy was cursed, and we need to uncurse them, the Admiral. And to uncurse them, we take curse on ourselves and go to the dark world over here, which you may have seen me teleport to already, and defeat whoever has applied that curse, essentially. And that's the only point of this chapter. You could almost say that this is a sort of filler chapter. It gives you a small bit of information, like perspective on Munakata and whatever he was doing as a reward for completing this chapter, but otherwise it's very disjointed from the rest of the game. For now, we're just going. Oh, we're going. Or there's a bit of an issue. Or two issues, rather. Yeah, these two. The two demon bros. They keep teleporting us away. Not allowing us to go to the river. We need to go along the river, that is. So, yeah. I'm very close to Spirit Slash. Do I really want to use... like, do another fight just to have it? Yeah, I guess I do. That's very unfortunate when that happens, when you're so close to it, but you don't have it fully. Because at the start of the next fight, I immediately want to use it. Without actually fighting for like half a minute. Alright, we have had enough, really. So now we're gonna use Inspect one more time. Found something suspicious. And as a reward of that, we're gonna throw Agathian away forever. And summon Preta instead. Without the demon summoned, you can't sneak attack enemies on the field. Don't talk to Preta. Oh my god. Book of Bufu, Frost Steel, Book of Scavenger. Yeah, this is what happens when you accidentally talk to Demon instead of checking the item on the field. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is apply Zeal, wait until Warcry or Tarukaja, and then use immediately the Spirit Slash. It's not gonna be the end of those enemies. A couple more will spawn now, but... it's something we can relatively quickly deal with, because they're as weak as they were in Chapter 1. Good. Now we can actually go forward. I do need my Spirit Slash still, though. We're gonna get through a lot of fights now, but they are all gonna end within seconds, so... Okay, before we proceed to next one, I need to equip the Wind Sign, because the next fight is gonna be the Wind Nethergate. Also, let me get this fight as well. No, not the sword. Yeah, you can also equip the sword in the middle of the fight. You never do this in a speedrun, because we're always carrying the best one with us. Equipped. Ow. Alright, as I said, there will be a lot of those here. And we're going with the exercising shell next, because there's gonna be a bullet nether gate right here. Now for the vault one. Some of these are not mandatory, but we need level right now, we need XP. And we need it because we're gonna do very important fusions, before which I should most definitely save the game. It's gonna be one of the final fusions. Life gain, we're throwing it away. Okay, get this thing. Now we need frost. Actually, how close are we? Yeah, well, could have maybe avoided picking that one, but I'm not sure if nether gates even give me any sort of spirit slash meter. And one more left. Which of course is Pyro, because we have used everything else already in this sequence. The Pyro should give me a level. If it does, then everything is fine. We're gonna visit Victor in Gomaden. Victor is one of the characters in Devil Summoner sub-series who is appearing in every Devil Summoner game. And he's always the one who's helping with fusing stuff. There we go. You can go and heal there. I won't. I think I'm fine on health. No. Got these scuffed menus. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Okay, before we do fusions, I need to register all the demons. Because we're gonna reuse a couple of them. We're gonna do the Ghoul and Lennon Sheened Dominion, which is weird, I know. Diorama, Tarokaja, and Berserker. And then next is Sibylle, who we're gonna be using, well, for the rest of the game, really. And not just one. Maybe even two of them, but with different sets of skills. Very nice. Not gonna ignore life gain now. There we go. Resist force, half mind, and not that. Fast escape. We're gonna be escaping a lot. It's all very interesting, but I need more. I demand another one. Over here, Agidine, Madzan, Bufudine, Warcry, and Berserker. There we go. Just one more fusion left. Later in the run. And passives, yes. Resist force, half might, magic chakra, and fast escape. Gonna summon Ghoul. And as I said earlier and shown with the Agathian example, you can have two of the same demons in this game. Which is very nice. And I need a Book of Berserker. If I even have one. I don't. Well, I'm not sure. Okay, then later. It's not the end of the world, but it would be nice to have one now. And this is the enemy that is causing the curse in this place, and we need to deal with it. What an annoying fight this is. I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to get some magnetite off of him. I'm gonna do it like this. Command Kaja. And I will immediately set my next sign as Frost, which will be for phase 3, because in phase 2 I'm hoping that I will be able to use the Spirit Slash here. Well, it would be also nice to not die. Just a thought. I feel like I'm using way more magnetite than I normally would. If you don't use Spirit Slash in that phase, it's not the end of the world. You can still use it now. My stability is so good that you use 2. In general, they have the highest tier of skills available out of the... how can you say it? Out of all the best spells in the game, they have them available at the lowest level. And they have the detective skills that we will need in the final dungeon as well, so you don't need to craft a demon specifically for it. And it's very easy to fuse them with what we have when we come to this point of the run. Everything else that you can fuse later is either too high level or just worse than her. And demons in this game, with how you can see you can put any skills on them pretty much if you really want to, because you can select skills. And the skills that they learn in general, it's not a very big list. So you can just quickly craft 2 of these, put everything you need for yourself right away, and don't care about like acquiring certain skill on some other demon later on in the game. There we go. So what we have learned from Sadakichi is that Navy is using some sort of towers around the capital city that generates a lot of energy. And as we think in our detective agency, that energy generating thing might be connected to some degree with those Hiroko enemies that we have seen in a couple of chapters already, that manifest from people's anxieties and fears. It's essentially also an energy fuel of sorts that could be used for wars. So we're thinking that those towers might also be able to use to some bad plans, let's say. So we're going to the dark world and checking out whether it's actually something to worry about. I need a full bar for the first fight. That will actually be of a concern think one more after this should do it. There we go. Yeah, and it is a tower that is basically covered in those Hiroko enemies that we have seen. So they are being attracted there, so there is definitely something sketchy going on there, so we're definitely gonna head there ourselves. At first we're welcomed by these three enemies that are immediately getting evaporated. Yeah, the Dio aura that Sibylle will be learning is absolutely useless. We're gonna be overwriting it as soon as we can. But Zeodyne is a big help on two of them, especially that we have a Elic boost with ourselves, which is gonna make it even hard-hitting. And we're gonna have a couple of these fights, unfortunately. They're very easy to kill, but there is too many of them. So these fights still do take a while. Go. This is very confusing when you're playing this casually, I imagine. Because some of these you need to ride as RAIDOU, some of these you need to ride as your demon. Hold up. There we go. Almost didn't get lost. Another one of these. We're not using Spirit Slash here, obviously, because it's too easy to kill them anyway, and they just keep respawning, so the fight will not end with the one use of Spirit Slash. Yeah, the last hit of the axe combo is the juiciest one. You always want to try and push the combo to the very end. It also has sort of AoE in front of you whenever you're using it. It's very handy on bosses. Some of the bosses just get deleted with it. Well, now the interesting part. Well, first of all, I would like to see if I have full Spirit Slash. Now I will. Good. And now we go to Gomaden. and pray that we have enough money. I will save the game. We have one more fusion left, although that's one of the fusions that probably do not warrant a save, but I know how it works when you least expect it. So we're going over here and find that we don't have enough resources. We go over here and we buy stuff. Well, first of all, we sell a lot of stuff. You think, wow, that's so much money, look at it. Yeah, you need about 90,000 or so. I have a suspicion that I will not have enough right now. That Soma that I used, sold earlier, might have given me a chance. Is that it for the good thing? Yeah, I will sell smoke balls. I'm never ever using them. They're a good thing to have, but they're... Oh my god, I forgot to actually buy the materials. They're useful only in the last dungeon, really. But apart from that, you escape fights so quickly, you probably have noticed it already, that it's not anywhere as good as you think they are. Nope, that's too much. One, if you wouldn't mind. Yes. Volt silver, I need 2. And Volt bronze up to 4, I have only 1. Wow, I might actually have enough money. I think this is the second time out of I don't know how many runs where I have enough. Apparently it can happen. Incredible. Seimitsu is a sword in itself is not really incredible in any way. The Balmung though, next one that we're gonna fuse, that should be a good one. Because your attack raises when you're under status elements, certain ones, like poison, confusion. You can feel the effect of it. Does it cost the money that it costs and the time to use it? That is a very good question. But for now we are doing it. Chernobog out of Okuninushi and Ghoul with no extra skills. This Chernobog will be serving a specific role later in the run. We're not gonna be... well, we are gonna be using him in 2 fights, I guess. Okay. I'm not gonna save because this game auto-saves every 5 seconds, so... if something goes wrong in this fight, it tends to sometimes. In the original game run, this is one of the infamous fights where if you fail what you're supposed to do, then it's pretty much, well, almost over. Monokata is asking us to join his efforts. We're of course not gonna agree. Because that will lead to game over. And this is Mishaguji, which is a pain. He's invincible when he's casting stuff in the middle of the room like this. Whenever you touch these spots on the ground around you, you're getting confusion, which, if you remember the effect of the sword that we have, should give us more damage, technically, so it's nice. But you also don't want to overdo it, because, you know, it's a bit dangerous. Before I do the Spirit Slash, well, have to do this now, because someone has used a skill that they weren't supposed to. I need second Tarukaja. Quite close. Not sure this will be enough. Unlikely. But very close, I think. Yeah, it's possible to skip this sequence if you calculate your damage correctly. Yeah, in this version of the game, it's incredibly easy fight, especially after the patch where they have nerfed him. But yeah, casually, even in this version on the like release day, let's say, I imagine this was not the fun fight for sure. I have also stopped noticing the hero code that is supposed to heal the boss for a big chunk of HP. I know that later on in the game it will appear in the rematch with this boss, but right now I still can't see if it even exists. Maybe that was the nerf itself in the patch that they have mentioned. I don't know. But even the fight itself feels like it's way less aggressive on you. I remember having to run around the arena, but now I'm just standing in the center and I don't die. So, to prevent us messing with the plans of Munakato and his super soldier project, Rasputin has sent us into Dimensional Rift of time and space, and we have transported somewhere, we have no idea where. It technically does look like a place where we have been, the capital. However, there is a cat that looks very... Meow, yes. Very much like ours, Goto. And that's extremely suspicious. So we're gonna go and investigate that now. And what do you think? It's another RAIDOU with the scars on his face, and it's the one who is actually talking. More often than not. And that Goto is actually another Goto. Also his partner. So we have transported into another... well, time, I suppose. Where we're not supposed to be yet. And now to escape out of here... we're gonna leave. Not leave. We're gonna do a thing first. Very important thing. We're gonna assemble a specific artifact that will allow us to travel back into the Dimensional Rift. Back to our world. For that we need to defeat 3 bosses in 3 places, which are essentially... hold up, I need to summon Chernobog first. Yes. Which are essentially trials of power, wisdom, and courage. And if you pass them, you will be able to leave this place. In this specific area, yes, we need to collect 8 charms. Each of those Shoten enemies over here has a charm, so if you have a fight with 3 of them, you will get 3 charms at the end of the fight. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna do 3, 3, and 2. Basically. The most important part is to not overdo on the Spirit Slash. You're heavily advised to have a Spirit Slash for the boss of this place. Instead of using it here. However, it is technically possible to use them in both places, but that requires some very good spawns of the encounters on the field where we're running around. There we go. Boink. Right? That's 8 in total. But before I move on, I need to actually get some items at the pier over here. I have the Spirit Slash, so I don't need another one. Built up. I'm gonna equip Starbound Blades and Volt Sign. Starbound Blades is a skill that is good for breaking the shield. It deals some sort of damage as well. Well, almighty in its case. It's just a good thing to have to deal some quick damage to the enemy to bring them to some sort of state before using the Spirit Slash. So in my case, I will do it like this. I will do Zeal, Starbound Blades, Volt Sign, and then Spirit Slash. If I done everything right and the boss was weakened, this should kill it immediately. There we go. That's 1 out of 3 done. First part of the 3-part artifact acquired. Now on to the next one, which is a bit shorter. Wrong way. I want to escape this place, but not that way. Oh, right. I have the Starbound Blades. I need to equip Magnetize back, which is sometimes I don't do here. I just sort of YOLO it, but I don't have enough Magnetite right now to afford that maneuver. If you have quick fingers, you can hit escape and then magnetize. And while you're escaping, you're basically gonna collect the magnetize. Like that. Except I missed most of it, but that was a very lucky encounter. Or unlucky, depends how you look at it. It's the one you're very quickly able to escape. Okay. Done with these. I would like to get my Starbound Blades back, although it's not strictly necessary here. There is a pattern in this fight where you might not need it. It all depends on what Omitsunu will do at the start, the enemy that we have to deal with. And this is some sort of a puzzle that you have to figure out. 2 things you need to activate with RAIDOU, the last one you need to activate with your demon, so we're solo investigating it. So, similar deal. Except I would like it to be weakened, thank you very much. Did I not put the wind sign? Must have missed it. Yeah, you're supposed to use wind here, I believe. Because it's frail to wind. There we go. It's alright. That's second one done. Now for the last one, which is in Dark Ginza. No, not there. And not there either. RAIDOU, stop talking. keep thinking there is an extra menu there with Herald, but that's in my world, not this one. Okay, magnetize and frost sign. Used too much magnetite on that, but otherwise that was fine. Should pick up the chakra drop around here. I often skip it because I don't think it's important enough to walk 5 steps forward. But we still need to collect the Spirit Slash, which is easier to do here anyway, because there are a lot of enemies on these rail tracks. Should be another one over there. Strange that I can't see it. So the way that it works in this game is if you play the game the same way as you usually do, and by that I mean move around the same way through the locations, through the fights, through everything, you will always have specific encounters, well, yeah, in specific places. If you, however, decide to load the game in the middle of the, or like save the game in the middle of the room, load it, like do something to disrupt that order, the encounters will be different. So basically, as long as you're following some sort of path, it will always be the same when running this game. Oh, come on, I was first, that doesn't count. There we go. Yeah, this is fighting as a demon. Boink. You can use both of their spells and the physical attacks, so it's not too bad. Go. Beat. I will also heal because I honestly don't remember the amount of magnetite I have. And before we get in, Starbound Blades. And that's the third one. Now the end never is. There are some enemies spawning. There we go. And that basically concludes our operations in this chapter. Now all we need to do is to talk to Harold again, and we're out of here. Back to our world, hopefully. So RAIDOU, the other one, will perform the ritual to send us back where we belong. And that concludes that. Now we're on to the chapter 10, which is actually quite a short chapter. The game really picks up the pace now, well, except for the final chapter, which will take a while, but seemingly we are where we should be. You are wondering though why I can't teleport back to the agency. That's something suspicious. That means that something story-related might happen, but it doesn't really. I mean, it happens here, but why couldn't you just teleport here immediately? I don't know. So what happened here is that Narume has left the detective agency and wrote us that he will handle this case on his own. We're just his apprentice. We're too young. We shouldn't mess about with these adult affairs. And that he was acquainted with Munakata back in the army like 10 years ago. So he wants to try and solve that on his own. So we talked to Sadakichi, because he apparently saw Narume. And then go back to the agency where we find Rasputin, who is saying that the Super Soldier project is proceeding well. And apart from that, having like an army of soulless guards, they're also trying to revive a god by accumulating a lot of energy. And not just a god, they want to turn a ship, like an army ship, into a god. As I said, the story of this game is quite mad at times, and sometimes for very good reasons, because I like when game tries to not take itself too seriously, but still stays like moderately sane. Anyway, we're asking Rasputin why he's, you know, telling us all that. Well, he says that I have already done everything I was contracted to do. I have absolutely no business with whatever comes next. And he is way more interested in spending time with ladies in our world than, you know, doing this weird business that Munakata is trying to do. And that's a very Rasputin thing to do. They got it very much on point. Yeah. He's now on his own. He doesn't bother us anymore. He gave us a hint on where we should go. And we're going there. That's a secret entrance to the subterranean shipyard. Where we already have been before. Sort of. It's just another entrance, in a way. So, back to this place, and we need to assign some stuff before we move on. As you may have guessed, there will be a lot of nether gates again. So there will be a lot of skill switching. We need the vault one. We don't really need this Balm of Life, because we don't really need money anymore in this game. Well, we need, in the last chapter, to buy some safety stuff, but not to the point where we can't craft a weapon without money. We're not going to be doing that anymore, so... The success is not rolling on that, that's for sure. Go. There's Arahabaki, who's in a very deep sleep, but it's blocking the way, so we're gonna smack it and try to defeat it. Which is not difficult, because it falls asleep immediately. If only that attack went off like half a second later. That's unlucky. Yeah, in case you're wondering how I'm able to dash so quickly, well, RAIDOU is dashing to whoever you are currently locked on and press the light attack. So you just need to, you know, have a lock on someone to move around quickly. Which is both cool and painful sometimes, because, you, as I said before, lock-on is living its own life, in a way. And you don't really know who it's pointing to sometimes, because it can be someone 3 screens away from you. And, yeah, it can be a bit dangerous. So again, a wall that is not regenerating this time, it's just a wall that is blocking something. And of course we already know what to do. We need to find Ipondatara, who we already talked to in chapter 5. So we're going there. Oh, they were not in a rush to break that one. Why did they prioritize enemies? That's so weird. I haven't seen it before. There we go. And there we go. Before we talk to Ipondatara, let me set the exercising shell, because that's the next one we have to use in those nether gates. Thankfully, Ipondatara agrees to help us this time without any negotiations, which are actually quite painful. And the reason why I was buying so many items before talking to him in chapter 5 is because you can lose an insane amount of time in there by just being unlucky with what he's asking you during those negotiations. I don't think they have mentioned that in the what's it called? The patch notes, but I feel like it has become way more bearable since the patch that has changed the gameplay. I've never ever had an issue again with that. Okay. Oh, wait. No, here we probably should select the second one. Yeah. I will not save, although I technically could, since, you know, the boss is not fun or easy. But, as I said before, there are a lot of autosaves in this game, so even if something goes really south, I can probably figure it out. But before we go, let me set these on. This is a painful boss. In the original game as well. You can approach this very safely and be fine, but... So it's again Monakata, but it's not actually him. And has not been for a while. He's been possessed by Sukuna Hikona, demon, from way back in the past. Who has its own... a revenge arc, let's call it that way. And the actual Monakata has been dead for a very, very long time. So... this is not proceeding as well as I hoped it would, but... yeah, this is a fight where you can lose both of your demons, and if that happens, you're in a big, big trouble. Whereas my vault is flying. Oh, come on, that's not good. Let me collect some magnetite. No, 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 don't even think about it. No, 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 that's fine. That is fine. As long as I can keep my demons. now I need to run away. Like, since this didn't go as well as you hoped it would, now you don't really know how to approach this. Like, there is one very good way of doing this fight, and if you didn't do it that way, this is a major pain. And sometimes he just doesn't like taking damage. You know what? I think it's time to use this, because we're getting to the point where it should be killable even without the weak state. Yeah, this took a bit longer than it should. What I was trying to do is to get him down to 50% HP and in the weakened state when he's stunned, and then Spirit Slash just immediately kills him. Otherwise you have to get his HP down a bit more, but if you get his HP down a bit more and not use Spirit Slash immediately after that, this happens. He keeps spawning those Hiroko enemies, and if they hit your demons are not gonna help you at all afterwards. They're gonna get despawned, and you will not be able to spawn them again for, like, I don't remember if it's half a minute or a minute. You're basically gonna have to do that fight on your own, so that's why I was approaching it very, very carefully. Way more carefully than I should have, probably, but I know how awful it is to fight him one-on-one. So that will do. Anyway, Sukuna Hikuna's plan and Munakata's didn't really work out. However, someone still managed to turn a ship into a soulless god by using all the Hiroko that were accumulated on those towers throughout the game. And now it's destroying the capital, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, there are earthquakes here. And we need to do something about it. What we are thinking is that the satellite, which is another of the Navy's projects that we have been informed about, is in some way allows the soulless god, the ship thing, to generate a lot of energy that allows it to continuously just burn the capital. You can see that ship in the top right corner there on that previous image. It's just there burning everything. And for now we need to figure out how to, well, you know, get on a satellite, because we are in 1931 and it's not exactly simple to do. However, Dr. Tsukumo here has no issue with that, because he already built a rocket at some point. He just needs someone to decipher the physics behind, you know, how to let that rocket fly correctly. Thankfully, we have Victor, who's able to read a lot of complicated formulas in Russian, but not everything that we have is enough. Like, we also need some interesting technology from the future that allows us to do the impossible things when it comes to physics. And there is a man that we know came from the future, and we need to gently convince him to help us by using this bottle of wine and smacking his head. And now he is with us. In Gomaden. Everything is working out pretty well. We now can, apparently, go into space. However, you know, sending RAIDOU is a bit ambitious, because who else is gonna protect the capital if we're gone? Because there is no way that the rocket ship is gonna come back. Like, we discussed that with Doctor, and we need to send someone. We're gonna send Chernobog. RIP. Goto will also go, as someone who needs to oversee that this is actually gonna work out. And since Goto is not a real cat, it's sort of an entity within Cat's body, he can't really die. So he doesn't care about being sent to, you know, space and just leaving it however it will be. Lock on, please. What? Yeah, that's the issue. I'm standing in front of the enemy and lock on is like, no, 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 no. There is an enemy like 5 meters behind you. You should go there instead, you know? No, I shouldn't. Yeah, this is very simple. They should put a stop to Soulless God. Will it though? We'll see. And Goto is gone. Allegedly. And the final chapter, which is one of the longer ones. It's quite stressful, considering the circumstances. So, Narumi and us were overseeing that endeavor of going into space. The Soulless God has, in fact, fallen down without energy from the satellite. However, a wild Kaya appears to have been missing for, like, 5 chapters. And she's not acting like herself. And she herself apparently has so much energy, because if you remember, as a girl in that specific family, she's supposed to be possessed by a demon, and it's a sort of a thing that goes on in the family, so she's not like a normal girl. Well, she maybe has been possessed by someone, we don't know who yet. Here we meet Goto, but not our cat, it's the one from the parallel universe where we met other RAIDOU. And now this cat has 2 voices in its head. The Goto that was with us, because, as I said, it was just the body that died in the satellite. Otherwise, it's still an entity that can't really be killed. It's sort of a ghost, I guess. So now we're talking to it. And the other Goto in that one body, essentially. What we're gonna do now is to buy lots of stuff, most of which has something to do with replenishing magnetite. Because we're gonna be using a lot of spells coming up. And I think what I would like to get is... oh, it's not here. Well, let's just buy Soma on the rest of the money. Yeah, that will do. 2 is enough. I don't need more. So, if you remember in one of the previous chapters, we were collecting... well, going through trials to charge up this artifact, the stick thingy. Well, we're doing it again, but now in our world, and for a different reason. We need to travel through time and space again, but in a different way, like not being forced in there, but we're gonna travel into a specific place. So we're being tasked with charging it again. And, well... it's not a long process. It's just talk to 3 people and then we're ready. And it will be the final dungeon. Before we go, let me set this up. And we go over here. In the same place where we were performing the ritual. Well, the other RAIDOU was. Akarana Corridor. Yeah, that's the fun place. And Kaya is also here, waiting for us, and she has now introduced herself. It is apparently RAIDOU the 40th. We are the RAIDOU the 14th. It's the RAIDOU 40th that has possessed her. And why he has done that, let me try and explain it to you quickly. While I'm doing these weird rematches that are here for... Well, there is an apparent reason, but it's probably something they could have avoided not having in the game, but that's the way they decided to go with. So, in the future, RAIDOU that is protecting the capital is not having much luck with it. It's a pretty sad place. And he thought that by going to the past and changing the past, some of the events that he thought are meaningful, he will be able to make a better future for himself and the capital. So technically, maybe a noble cause, except a lot of people have already died, so, you know. Technically, again, everyone in this game is trying to have a better future for the capital city. All in a different ways. And the only non-violent one is the one that we are doing with the actual defender of the capital, you know. Don't have enough MP. Nope. There's also something I should probably do, because I didn't have the item back when I needed to do it properly. As a part of the route, is to remove some of the skills on Sibylise, more specifically Dia Aura, which is very unnecessary to have. On anything else, really. Like, almost anything else will do. Healing is nice, but dealing damage and finishing the fight quicker so you don't have to, you know, heal yourself is even better. There we go. Hold up. All tapped out of the game. All good. Mm-hmm. Now, on to the next one. Basically, it's a big rematch parade. It's like a boss rush of sorts that you have to go through. This is a place, this dungeon, it's a place of many memories of lost souls, including the demons. So you have to keep fighting them as well. Which is a bit annoying, to put it lightly, but... Might be very ambitious, but I think I'll go with it. Very close. If I could do one more hit there, that would have been the end of the fight, but now I have to roll around a bit. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, like one more hit in that combo. That would do it. Okay. Very unlucky. Well, I say unlucky. Just had to be either then or he would start that phase of the fight himself. Like, it was at about 40% or so when that would happen. That was what his HP was at, so. Alright. Okay, I'm getting a bit tired of seeing the Dior. Let me remove it. Well, Dekaja is also not nice, but Dior is worse. I'm surprised I don't have Book of Berserker. Unless I just don't see it. No, I don't. Incredible. I think this is the first time I'm, like, missing it completely. Not a single one. Usually I would have at least a couple. Alright. Now we're going to the next fight, as you would probably have guessed, which is, of course, Rasputin. I will grab this fight as well. You can rely on getting enough spirit slash in the Rasputin fight. But sometimes it goes by so quickly that you don't have enough time to accumulate it yourself. There we go. Oh, perfect. Okay, I think I did see the other Tarokaja. No, don't! Rasputin is in front of you, why are you there? Okay. Okay, let me smash him a few times. And this should be enough, I think. Wouldn't be enough if I had only one Tarokaja applied. Oh, it's still not enough, okay. Very close, though. But you shouldn't do anything sketchy, okay? Good. I think I didn't have Zeal on me. That might have played a part. That would have added just enough damage. Alrighty. The second part of this dungeon has opened up. Before going there, though, let me set the frost sign. start getting the Spirit Slash. It would be nice to use Magnetize right now, but we have so many items to recover Magnetite that it's not really necessary. It's just one extra menuing you have to go through. Also, this fight very often respawns immediately. For no apparent reason. That's the only one I found in the game that just keeps respawning. Well, I say keeps. It's just respawning immediately once. It shouldn't be here again now, but if you need it really quickly, like a couple of fights to generate Spirit Slash, that would be the one to go for. It's in your way and it's really quickly. I think I still need one more, right? Yep. Yeah, the fast escape and this difficulty together allow you to escape everything without issues. You don't need smoke balls for this. It's almost instant, like 2-3 seconds. Right. Now this one. Oh, right. I like recovering my Magnetite in time. Where is he? Where is he? Stop flying away. Nope. RAIDOU. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I have relocked on a million times by now, and RAIDOU is still very inclined to go that way. Exactly the same fight. Come on, one more. Oh, come on. No, that miss with Buffodine, come on. You can't do that to me. That Buffo should be enough though. Yeah, there we go. I really need my second Tarot Card. I keep postponing it, but it's something you should apply right away. But yeah, this is not a laughing matter. These can actually kill you. There we go. There we go. Nice. Again out of bounds. So you can't go there. Well. That's half of the boss rush done. We're going back, although grabbing this one is not a bad idea. So now next one, if you remember, was the one that we fought in the Cursed Detective chapter. Wait, excuse me. Hitoko Tonushi, but of course I need to escape this cruel fate of going the wrong way over and over. I wonder if I have enough magnetite recovery items. This is feeling a bit ambitious. 27, yeah, that's fine. 27 and 20. Mm-hmm. And over here. And this is a bit of a... well, I guess you could call it a puzzle. To activate the teleport in front of us, you need to do specific actions in this room. And Nekomata, that is standing to the left of RAIDOU right now, is giving you hints on how to do it. You just need to walk as RAIDOU or as Demon, depending on the puzzle, in certain ways. Also, there is something I should have done, but I can't do it right now. Thankfully. Because I have other business to attend to while I'm able to even use it anyway. Oh, this is so draining. So much magnetite keeps getting lost. Ooh, that's very nice. Yes, this is one of the thickest bosses in terms of health in this game. I mean, it has 4 phases, so it's at least a bit justified, I suppose, but otherwise, ridiculous. Okay. Right. Girls keep doing the work. Well, I keep dodging around. I'm not doing much right now because my Volt Sign is still in cooldown. This should give you a perspective on how much you can actually do with it when it's in cooldown. It just feels like it's taking forever for it to get to work. Yes, Frost Sign next. I also need to recover some magnetite. And while I'm at it, I should be professional and apply second Tarokage. About time when bosses stop dead. Okay, that was a bit too early. It still dealt damage. Okay, that's good to know. So in that case, I will say that it was professionally calculated. Oh, that's nice. Full damage in the face. Now the last phase that we didn't get to see too much in the first fight. In chapter 7. RAIDOU, calm down. You can still die here. This is not like a simple enemy, exactly. I almost got deleted. Okay. That's this one. If you were keeping track of the bosses, we have only Mishaguji left out of like the major ones, so we're gonna be working on that now. That was close to a disaster, but fights with this boss usually are, so nothing new. On Mishaguji, I definitely need both Tarokages, or we're gonna be there for a while. He has even more HP. And now we head back. Obviously getting the Spirit Slash back as well. Yeah, in case you're wondering why demons do not see me, how is this still counting as a sneak attack? Well, when they're spawning, there's like a couple of seconds when they are blind completely. And that's when you have to initiate it, if you're standing in front of them. If you're behind them, then it doesn't really matter too much. Should be okay either way. Alright, before I forget, let's replenish the Magnetite. Fully heal everyone. I could have used this healing thing on the right. I will use it on my way back. Right now, it's not really that necessary. So, 1, 2. Now we're switching to our demon, who needs to go once to the right side of the screen. Okay. Yeah, this is what happens when you're not going back to RAIDOU using the teleport thingy. You get that dialogue where Demon is saying like, oh, look, I'm so cool. Yeah, I'm so cool at losing me time. This will be a long one. Oh, you're not doing your special attack. That's interesting. Next time he's in weak, I could probably use the Spirit Slash. If fight is going really wrong, in so many ways, you might be able to use 2 Spirit Slashes. Because of how long the fight was taking, you could have accumulated 2 in total. Look, like, he's still at half health. Like, that's how much health he has. It's incredible. Not in a good way. Ah, yes, of course. Okay. Stop killing me, though. Nice. Very good. So much for charm. Friendly fire. Okay. You can immediately feel the boost that you get from Balmung weapon. Of that extra damage when you are poisoned or confused. I can finally do something. Still haven't seen the Hiroko enemy that was supposed to heal this boss in this fight. Either Sibylis dealt with it off screen somehow, or is just not there anymore. I don't know. Really, really odd. Alright, we're done with this business now. We need to go into the path that has opened and finish this. Obviously getting the Spirit Slash while we at it. It's almost halfway built up already. Could have skipped this Lilith one, but... The final boss is 4-phase fight. So it's hard to say how it will go when I need Spirit Slash on the third. No, come on, RAIDOU. On the third phase. Okay. Yes. There we go. Not forgetting to set this. Can save, but the game saves you anyway before the final boss. Let me check if I'm ready. I'm very ready. So now we have the final showdown against Kaya, who has been possessed by RAIDOU the 40th, who still has hope of fixing his future, but we're gonna prevent him from doing that. This is technically a one-on-one fight, because now our demons will be concealed and we will not be able to use them. And we are not gonna... Scion. Yep. And we're not gonna be able to shoot bullets at all. So what you can do here is keep countering her. On this difficulty, I usually prefer going full aggressive. Like, counterattacks deal insane amount of damage. But so does the last hit of the heavy combo, as you can see. And we're almost done with that already. I just prefer it this way. Okay. That should do it. Heavy combos, and whenever you hear Goto saying the thing, you just spam 2 buttons to counterattack, and that's it. Like, you either do this, or you keep dodging her attacks, like bait them out. Whatever suits you, really. Okay, I have 1 Tarokaja, now I have 2, maybe. And now we're ready. We're now fighting a ship, as you do. A villainous ship. He's actually a little bit of a soulless god when it comes to this game, so it's not a normal ship. Keep putting them into the wrong place. Almost sorry about that. What is more stressful in the original game compared to this one when it comes to this boss fight, well, this phase rather, is the next thing that comes after, well, killing Lilith here. Now that we're done with these enemies, the ship will arrive. Warcry, that was a bit early, but it's okay. And in the original game, you have barely enough time to deal with this ship. Here, though, you can take your sweet time, really. You just need to pay attention whether Sibyllies have enough magnetite to keep costing Zeodyne that they have learned. And you just keep doing the same combo. Look at how much damage you're dealing. And this is the boss. It's absolute insanity. Ow. It's not nice. Yeah, you keep getting shot by those hell pawns and enemies, but in this game you at least don't really care about them because the damage that they are dealing, it's very negligible. And they just interrupt you, if anything. They don't really kill you. At least on this difficulty, they don't. Now this looks a bit more like a god, this ship. We still have Spirit Slash, and I'm gonna be using it in a second here. No, why are you going there? Like, you can probably predict what I'm about to try and complain about, but it's all hopeless. This should put it very close to dying. You need to destroy both hands. And both hands were really close to dying after you used Spirit Slash, so... Good, now we have the final phase of the final fight left, which... It's technically easy, but if you're standing in the wrong place and doing the wrong thing, you might just get one shot, even on this difficulty, so you just need to pay attention to that, really. Apart from that, this is way easier than it was before. That said, though, I do need to recover my everything, preferably. Yeah, this thing. You don't want this thing to hit you in any capacity whatsoever. Okay, we're moving left. So far we finalized by doing Spirit Slash instant it died. You know, I absolutely believe that. It sounds like a thing that would absolutely break this game. Something is very buggy with animations at times when it comes to this. Okay. I'm gonna put it very close. And that's it. I'm gonna tell you when the timer is about to stop. Soon. In 3, 2, 1, now. Well, this went relatively fine, I guess. All things considering. The start of the game was a bit rough, for sure, start of the run. Because on this difficulty, you shouldn't really let your demons die, but that... I blame Softlock and Unity Engine and whoever designed it for that mistake. As a professional speedrunner, I blame someone else. Yes. But yeah, we have defeated the Soulless God, we have saved Kaya, we have defeated, well, pretty much everyone. And if you're wondering what Rasputin is doing, well, you should play RAIDOU 2. Which I think among 3 RAIDOU games, well now it's 3, is still better and much better than this remaster of the first game, and better than the first game itself. And by a long margin. Thanks a lot for GG's.
じゃなかったのね。全部夢ならよかったのに。私、暗闇の中にいてずっと怖かった。だけど、ライド
20 minutes underestimate. I feel like we're so ahead of the schedule by now. Oh my god.
本当に助けてくれた。ありがとう。ありがとう。
Zion, do we have the next run ready? There's a backup run fixed schedule. Excellent. That's very good. Yeah, if you're looking into playing a RAIDOU game, not necessarily speedrunning, I would strongly suggest Remaster over the original, just purely on the gameplay basis, as it's much more exciting. The rest of the game is mostly intact, like it's actually remastered, not remade, so you wouldn't get a feel that you're playing something else completely. Devil Summoner has quite a few games by now, but this is probably the most accessible alongside Soul Hackers 2, but that game is not up to everyone's taste, I suppose. Yeah. I'm really glad that I was able to showcase this run to everyone, because there aren't too many people that run Devil Summoner games, and certainly not too many people who run this one specifically, even though it's quite a fresh release. Yeah, I thank you very much for watching and the support, and keep on watching the runs on the marathon, because we have quite a few left still. We're not even halfway through the marathon yet.